Hello and welcome to the video tutorial series on RetroERS. My name is Brian and I'm with DataVault Solutions. Today we will review the details of the RetroERS Manager and its features. So let's go ahead and get started. Notice I have the RetroERS Manager already open. The RetroERS Manager's purpose is to allow you to manage primarily the user account and backup set associations. On the left hand side we have the user accounts from the installation where we chose for these to originate from Active Directory. Our backup set list comes from Retrospect. So if we would like to add one, I just go to the bottom, user account. Again, I pick Andy, and then I pick an associated backup set, and I click add. If I want to delete that association out, highlight it, hit the delete key, and confirm. If I want to add it, and it's been in there and I don't want to use it anymore, but I'm not interested in deleting it, I can just archive it so it doesn't show up in my reports. And go ahead and refresh. Again, this refresh button over here refreshes the list of Active Directory users or local users if you're using local authentication. And this refreshes the list of backup sets from those that are stored in the database already. Remember, we get them in there manually by running the agent here. Or we can schedule the task through the task scheduler. Let's go ahead and go through the menus first. Up at the top we have our typical Microsoft menu: File, Edit, View, Tools, Help. Under File we have the option to print our backup sets. This list may get rather large and you want to pass around a piece of paper with a list and say, take a look at the ones that you want to keep, ones that you don't want to keep, archive. That gives you the option to print it. And of course exit. Under Edit, Backup Sets, we can do a find on a backup set and type in test. Of course we're looking for backup sets. We're going to find all three of those. If we just do win, again, we would just find the one. Or I could search for a particular user. Don't remember his first name, but I know his last name is Jones. User sets. And then we find that. Go ahead and cancel that. Under users, again, this repeats the options down at the bottom to add and reset. Under view, we have our application properties, we have the installation folder, and we also have the IP address of this particular machine. And that's important because you will see that later on in the actual reports. Go to View, launch the Report Manager. That brings up the SQL Server Reporting Services home, and we see our RetroERS reports. Under Tools, Application Settings, if at any time you wish to change something relative to the application itself, for instance, the SQL Server Database Mail Profile, maybe you've upgraded to the full version, you want to modify that profile. Or SQL reporting, you have additional email addresses, or your reporting server URLs have changed, or even your date window that you would like to see in your reports. The ERS Agent tab contains a path of the RetroERS.exe application, and then you have the backup report UTX and the operations log UTX files, which are part of Retrospect. Backup set users. Again, we're obtaining our list from Active Directory, so we have our domain name, AD server, and our security group. Under Database, Tools Database, we have RetroERS account, change password. In the previous video, we set a password for the RetroERS user. This gives you the option to change that password. You would need to put in the old password and then the new password twice, confirming it, and then hit apply. Connection, Tools, Database, Connection, Change. if something happens in our environment, maybe the name of the server changes, or the instance changes, or even our authentication method were to change, we can put that in there and then test the connection to make sure that it's functioning. Tools, database, purge old data. After, say, a year, you would like to archive out information from the previous 6 months. You can go ahead and back up the database and then purge anything that is prior to January 1. Delete data older than January 1st. Hit delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. Has been successfully deleted. Product registration. This gives you the option once in the application to activate or deactivate. If you're planning on moving RetroERS Manager to another Retrospect server, we highly recommend you deactivate the application so you can utilize your existing key code for the next install. Run agent now. That forces the Retrospect logs to be processed immediately through the ERS Manager. And then schedule the task. Instead of coming in on a scheduled basis and manually running the agent, provide an option for you to create a scheduled task. This enumerates out the location of the RetroERS executable. We specify a time that we'd like it to start. We enable the task, save the changes. Once we save the changes, we can actually launch the Windows Scheduler and modify that task. At DataVault, we recommend that you repeat that task every 15 minutes throughout the day. It has a very low overhead, so the process of running this in the background is not going to impact your performance at all. And also running it every 15 minutes keeps your logs up to date in the actual reporting manager. And then we can always go in and view the history of the scheduled task. And then we have help. Our online help takes you to the DataVault webpage where you have our frequently asked. On the help menu, we have online help, which takes you to the DataVault Solutions website where we have frequently asked questions, system requirements, and other help resources. And then we have About RetroERS Manager as your licensing and installation information. And that's it. Thank you for joining us.